Welcome, brave souls, to another night of spine-chilling tales. Tonight, we delve into 3 harrowing stories that will make you question the safety of your own home, the innocence of forgotten graves, and the secrets that lie within old mirrors. Prepare yourselves for a journey into the unknown, where the ordinary turns sinister and the past refuses to stay buried. Story 1. The Neighbor Next Door. I had just moved into a quaint suburban neighborhood, excited to start a new chapter of my life. The house was perfect, with a white picket fence and a small garden in the front. However, the neighbor next door was peculiar. He was an elderly man who never left his house. His curtains were always drawn, and at night, faint, eerie music would seep through the walls. One evening, curiosity got the best of me. I decided to bake some cookies and take them over as a friendly gesture. As I approached his door, I noticed a strange, metallic smell. Hesitating for a moment, I knocked. The door creaked open, revealing the old man standing in the dimly lit hallway. His eyes were hollow, and his smile sent chills down my spine. He invited me in, and I reluctantly stepped inside. The house was dark and filled with odd artifacts, old photographs and dusty furniture. He led me to the living room, where I saw a series of black and white photographs hanging on the wall. They were all of different young women, each with a terrified expression. I tried to make conversation, but he remained silent, his gaze fixed on me. Suddenly, he stood up and walked out of the room, leaving me alone. I felt an overwhelming sense of dread and decided to leave. As I turned to go, I noticed one photograph that caught my eye. It was of a young woman who looked eerily similar to me. I rushed out of the house, my heart pounding. That night I couldn't sleep, haunted by the images of those women. The next morning I decided to investigate. I went to the local library and searched through old newspapers. What I found was horrifying. There had been a series of disappearances in the neighborhood, all young women who looked like me. I contacted the police and they launched an investigation. They discovered a hidden room in the old man's house, filled with personal items from the missing women. He had been a serial killer, luring women into his home and photographing them before they vanished. The old man was arrested, but the experience left me scarred. Every time I close my eyes, I see the faces of those women, and I wonder how close I came to being one of them. The neighbor next door was not just a peculiar old man. He was a monster, hiding in plain sight. Story 2. The Unmarked Grave. My friends and I loved exploring the woods behind our neighborhood. One autumn afternoon, we stumbled upon an old, overgrown cemetery. Most of the tombstones were crumbling and illegible, but one caught our attention. It was an unmarked grave, simply a mound of dirt with a single weathered cross. Feeling adventurous, we decided to dig around the grave, hoping to uncover its mystery. As we dug deeper, the air grew colder, and an uneasy feeling settled over us. Suddenly, we hit something hard, a wooden box. We pried it open, revealing a small, ornate chest filled with old letters and a locket containing a photograph of a young girl. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about the grave and the chest. I decided to return alone to investigate further. As I approached the cemetery, I noticed a figure standing by the unmarked grave. It was a young girl, dressed in old-fashioned clothes, her face pale and eyes wide with sorrow. She spoke to me in a whisper, explaining that her name was Emily. She had been buried there many years ago, but her grave was forgotten and her story lost. She begged me to help her find peace. Moved by her plea, I took the letters and the locket to the local historian, who helped me piece together her tragic tale. Emily had been an orphan, accused of witchcraft by the superstitious villagers and buried in an unmarked grave. Her spirit had been trapped, unable to rest. I gathered my friends, and we held a proper memorial for her, placing a new marked tombstone on her grave. As we finished, the air grew warmer, and a sense of peace settled over the cemetery. Emily's spirit appeared one last time, her face serene. She thanked us and slowly faded away. From that day on, the woods felt different, no longer eerie, but peaceful. Emily's story reminded us of the importance of remembering the past and honoring those who were wronged. The unmarked grave was no longer a mystery, but a testament to a forgotten life, finally given the respect it deserved. Story 3: The Shadow in the Basement. When I bought my first home, I was thrilled. It was an old house with plenty of character, and I was eager to make it my own. However, the basement gave me the creeps from the start. It was dark, damp, and filled with an odd, musty smell. I avoided it as much as possible, but one night, a strange noise drew me downstairs. Armed with a flashlight, I descended the creaky stairs. The beam of light revealed old furniture, boxes of forgotten items, and cobwebs. As I explored, I noticed a small door at the far end of the basement that I hadn't seen before. It was slightly ajar, and a cold draft emanated from within. Curiosity overpowered my fear, and I pushed the door open. Inside, the room was pitch black, but my flashlight revealed an old mirror leaning against the wall. Its surface was grimy and cracked, yet it reflected something that wasn't there, a shadowy figure standing behind me. I spun around, but the basement was empty. Turning back to the mirror, the figure moved closer. It was a man, his face twisted with anger and sorrow. He mouthed words I couldn't hear, but the message was clear. He wanted me out. I fled upstairs, heart racing, and locked the basement door. That night, I researched the house's history. I discovered that the previous owner had disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and his body was never found. Rumors suggested he had been involved in dark practices, summoning spirits or worse. Determined to rid my home of the malevolent presence, I contacted a local paranormal investigator. She conducted a seance, revealing the spirit was indeed the previous owner, trapped by his own actions. He had dabbled in summoning rituals, binding himself to the house. The investigator performed a cleansing ritual, and I could feel the oppressive atmosphere lift. The shadowy figure appeared one last time, his face now peaceful, before dissipating into the air. The mirror shattered, releasing whatever hold it had on him. The basement felt different after that. No longer a source of fear, but just another part of my home. The experience left me cautious but grateful for the peace that now filled the house. I learned that some secrets are best left undiscovered, and that the past can haunt the present in the most unexpected ways. Thank you for joining me on this journey through 3 harrowing tales. Remember, the world is full of mysteries, and sometimes the most ordinary places hide the darkest secrets. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more chilling and dark tales. Sleep well.